Morning to you. It's Friday, the 5th of April 2019. Welcome along to this morning's United Kingdom talk, coming to you from the Chapel Hill Marina here in Lincolnshire, boys and girls, on a beautiful day. The sun is out. Very windy here yesterday. Oh, yes. Very windy. One of my lights blew off, actually. I've got these little solar lights that I bought off a website. Now, what's it called? Groupon. I think it's Groupon. Anyone on Groupon? You get like really cheap stuff on there. Stuff like that's where I get my toilet rolls from. Oh yeah, I got 140 toilet rolls last week. Last time for about £30, something like that. Dirt cheap. Anyway, I bought these solar. No, they weren't. They were from Aldi. I showed you, didn't I? I got them from Aldi, and they're like these little square things, and you stick them up, and they're very, very bright, and they come on for 30 seconds whenever someone walks past them. So I meant to fix them with the caravan onto the caravan with screws, but I noticed you could just like slot one into one of the little bits of vents, not covering the vent, just using it to sort of slot it in there. And I put a couple of them in there. One of those fell off yesterday in the winter. Ever so windy here, very windy, but beautiful today. The sun is shining brightly, although not in Hammersmith, I gather. Tommy Flynn has already messaged in there and said it's rather overcast in Hammersmith. Isn't it funny? You don't really have to go too far to see different types of weather, do you? I mean, I'm sure you've heard perhaps a neighbour, a couple of streets away, I've rung you before and said to you it's pouring down with raining, and you look out the window, not a drop. Strange and mysterious. That's what it is. Early adopters, who's with us this morning? Diane Jebb. Good morning, Diane. All right, first message of the day from Diane. Will Peters, good morning to you. Mike Reese Ponto, good morning. Katie Ann Patterson, everyone's there today. Look, Michael Lawrence, hello, Michael. Have you just finished work, Michael? I guess you just finished work at Waitrose, I think you are, aren't you, Michael? I think you're at Waitrose. Tommy Flynn, there he is. Overcast in Hammersmith today. Well, it always is, Tommy. Oh, dear. Hammersmith, Shepherd's Bush, ghastly places to live, dear. At least I don't have to go through that area on a Friday night when I'm up here, although I will have to next week. I'm not up here next week. I'm taking it was actually their Christmas present. My nephew and his family, we're going to Legoland for a couple of days. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? So we're going, I think, Tuesday and Wednesday there. So you won't get a show those 2 days because I'll be there like pretty early in the morning. Hopefully around about 9 o'clock, and we get out and get going. It'd be wonderful. Horrendous. I tell you what, it's horrendously expensive, Legoland. I can't believe how dear it is. I mean, it really is. You try and book a couple of days there for a family and see how much they want. It's outrageous, really, when you think about it. I mean, the children will have some fun, so it's worth it to me to see the faces, you know. But blimey, I don't know how families afford these holidays sometimes. I really don't. Mike, your startup music sounds like it's one of the old ITV Regions startup. Does it really, Mike? I hope you're not suggesting that I'm stealing other people's music. How rude are you? God's sake, man. Outrageous, Mike. Okay. Peter Lake, good morning. Peter's on YouTube. It's a good morning in Woodall. Sun shining into the back garden. The daffodils are still there. Yeah, they're very late this year, aren't they? Don't you think, daffodils? Very late. I've seen them come up in January before in my garden at home, although most of them come up blind now. When I say blind, that means the leaves come up, but no flower appears. Now, I know that happens if you mow them down too early or cut them back. But I always leave them until the leaves are brown, but they seem to be coming up blinds now. Someone else told me I was supposed to dig them up every few years and split them up, but I haven't got time to do that, dear. Digging holes in ground, that's for grave diggers. I'm not in no intention of burying anyone at the moment, thank you very much. Not even bulbs. When am I coming over for coffee? Well, not today. I'm a bit rushed around on a Friday. I would like to try and get a swim in this morning because I haven't been swimming all week. I went Monday in Bracknell, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I haven't been swimming this week simply because I've had to wait in for things to happen, which I'll tell you about a little bit later on. Something else, every day something's happened this week. It's very exciting. Alan, good morning to Alan. Loved the opening music. Thank you very much, Alan. Alan Greenshare. Is that how you say it? Greed Hare? Greet, hooray! Is that what everyone says when they sing your name? Hooray! Morning, Alan. Hello, Adam the plumber. Hello to Shah, who says, call me. No, I don't call people, dear. I can't afford to pick up the phone and call people. What? Call people, call me. This is funny, actually. A lot of people put a little note on there, sometimes who've just fallen across the show, perhaps accidentally before, and they sit about, call me. What's all that about? Call me. When I was a boy, people used to just call people. It's like, sometimes you ever get a text? Give us a call. Well, why didn't you just pick up the phone and give us a call? Aren't people funny? Or they put it off. Or why don't you give her a ring? I'll ring tomorrow. Well, why not now? Funny, isn't it, really? Morning to Claire. Hello, young Claire. Morning, Claire. Are you along tonight, Claire, for the sing-song? I want to see if there's a song on there called The Lightning Tree. Roll, roll the lightning tree. Da 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 da. From, is it Folly Farm or something like that? Because we were doing something last night at my sister's house, which I'll tell you about forthwith. Good morning to Gary Stevens. You got the lights from a £1 land. Certainly not. Oh, I haven't turned my caravan light on. There we are. That's illuminated now. That's better. These are not £1 lights, I'll have you know. They're not over expensive. They're just normal video lights, but there's 3 of them in here. Gustav, morning. It's always sunny in Kensington and Chelsea. I don't believe that for one moment, dear. In that hard-to-let properties that you live in, dear. Gustav, dreadful place. He lives in a converted offices, which they turned into flats. Tiny little rooms that you couldn't even swing a cat around in, let alone a mouse. God's sake. Good morning to Sarah Lou Lace, who says it's very dull in Devon this morning. Oh, you keep those clouds down there. We'll keep the nice sunniness. It's very hot in here this morning. I might open that door in a minute. Open that door a little bit. That's better. Gary, solar lights go off after half an hour. You need a windmill with all that weather. I would love a windmill. Funnily enough, I was just talking to someone in a shop yesterday about that. I would absolutely love one of those windmills, but we wouldn't be allowed to have one here. We're not allowed solar panels on the caravans either. That's just how it is. Claire, it's a beautiful in Surrey this morning. I'm going to Bockett's Farm Park this afternoon to see lambs being born and feed goats. Oh, that's nice, Claire. I hope you're not going to buy one to eat it later on, though. My niece, when she was in Cyprus, apparently she bought lamb or went to buy lamb the other day or something like that. And there wasn't much in there. And she said to this butcher, have you got any more of that? He said, yes, of course I have. And he went back out the back and bought almost an entire lamb out. Or it don't look. You can't do it when it looks like the animal, can you? This is the trouble with you people. You've disconnected yourself from the fact that meat is a dead animal. That's it. Try and get that into your head, and you'll soon become vegetarian. Then, Adam is on his way to Eastbourne. He's in Pembrey, Tunbridge Wells. I know Tunbridge Wells, and it's grey, but the sun is shining down on the brightly, just like you, Chris. A ray of sunshine in the morning. Oh, isn't that lovely? I'd love to ray all of you this morning. I would love to ray all of you. Feel the rays coming down and spreading love throughout the world to the millions of people that join us here every morning on United Kingdom Talk. Ray Reynolds, a very good morning to Ray Reynolds. Gary says if you don't take the bulbs out, they go blind. Yeah, I can't be been doing that. I'm not. The bulbs coming up. I know you're supposed to dig up certain bulbs, aren't you, all the time? They flower, they die down. You're supposed to dig them up and replant them. I ain't got time to do that. Just leave the damn things in there. Did you get your new bed, Peter Lake? Yes, I did. The new bed arrived yesterday and early, slightly early. I got a text actually shortly after the show to tell me it would be arriving between 2 and 4 p.m. And round about 12, I got a phone call from. It was this bed came from Argos. About 12 o'clock, I got a text message, or a phone call actually. It said, we might be there a little bit earlier, about 1:30. Does that suit you? And I said, yeah, that's fine. So that was all right. So I done my dinner and sat down for the dinner, watched a bit of the news, watched the ongoing trials and tribulations of that new comedy show on BBC News, Brexit, which just goes on and on. They're now talking about another year extension, aren't they? Oh, God. What a complete mess. So I watched that. And it was around about 1:55, the phone rang. And he said, okay, we're about 2 minutes away now. All righty. And I said, I'll go down to the gate and open it up for you. And I'm walking down the path within the marina to the gate, and I saw this Argos car come past. I thought, oh, he's got in already. And I I frantically waved at it, and he stopped. And he saw me. Then he came down the path, and I was surprised at the size of the Argos van. It weren't a small one. No, this was a big Argos fan, and he said, are we going to get this down there? And I'm saying, well, you've got a sharp right turn at the bottom. I'm not sure you will. Okay, so he's got down there and he's stopped, and I thought, oh, he can't get round the corner. But the other corner is a bit wider, so he went round there and then backed up. And he's gone back all the way up like that, and then do a turn to that. Very good driver. Very, very good driver. I've got to say, if I was doing that, I'd now and again I'd go too far to the left or to the right, and I'd have to stop, go forward a bit, and then come back again. Really good driver. As I say, it came from Argos. Two old boys. I say old boys, are about 45, younger than me. They were driving the van and doing the delivery and all that. And he said, which one are you? I said, I'm just on the end there. Open the door. I'd already dismantled the old bed. Before they came, I dismantled the old bed, which involved removing the mattress, which was quite heavy. The mattress on that was quite heavy and thick. Yeah, it was a good quality one. My sister reckons it's an orthopedic mattress, a little bit stiff, to be honest. It's quite hard, that mattress. And my sister and brother-in-law came round before that in the car, and I didn't think it was going in the car. Eventually, they kind of bent it into a V shape like that, and we pushed and we shoved, and I tell you, another inch on that mattress and it wouldn't have gone in the car. And they managed to slam the back door on it, because it's one of those, what are they called? I don't know if it's an estate car or not. It's just big at the back. I can't remember now. But we did manage to get it in, and off they went to Lincolnshire. To Lincoln. They were doing something in Lincoln yesterday. I think they visited a toy shop, some toy shop in Lincoln. And the bed frame I took apart, because again I didn't have any Allen keys, so Martin, my brother-in-law, brought around some Allen keys, and I took that apart, little bits of wood, bits of metal, and that's in the back of my car, ready to be taken down the dump in Bracknell, probably tomorrow morning, something like that. So that all went well. The boys brought the bed in. This bed is ever so light. It's amazing, actually. It's ever so light. And you look at this bed, and I thought that weren't worth 200 quid. Do you know what I mean? I mean, you do wonder what sort of wood they made it out of. It's like balsa wood. It's incredibly light. The base bit come in two halves, so there's a little bit of DIY involved, but not too bad. So you take the plastic off the two halves, and then you got the wheels, and you put those wheels in, and you just bang them gently with a hammer. What I do, and I think I've done this before with something else, well, I've banged the wheel too hard and it's bent. So what I did was I got a screwdriver, and with the end of the screwdriver, I positioned that on that little bit that sticks into the bed, and bang that, and it went click, and in it went. So that was good. And then you marry up the two halves of it and put these plastic clips on. It's as simple as that. And then put it on the ground. And then took the plastic off the mattress, again, which was incredibly light. Not like the other one at all, very, very light, and I put it together. Easy to move around now, because it's on casters. I put on I've got two mattress toppers here. I was only able to use one on the other bed, because once I had that on, I couldn't get the sheets over it. But I put both mattress toppers on this one. It's like a cheap one, and a sort of reasonably expensive one from John Lewis. That's the one on the top. Put the sheets on, and that's it. All done. All done. And I've got so much more space in that bedroom now. It's improved it so much. I've actually got space in there, so I can actually walk around the bed and make it easily without having to lift anything, because this one is a divan. The last one was a frame bed, so you would drop the mattress in it. You know, and to make it, you'd have to lift that, and besides, you couldn't get around the sides anyway, so it was so difficult. This is so much better, and actually, within half an hour of me putting that bed together, I was in it and gone to sleep. I do like to test out my bed, and it's lovely. The smell of a new bed, it's like having a new car. That smell, you know, which is probably petrochemicals and all. I felt quite high while I was laying in the bed. because they put all this flame retardant stuff and all that. It's all chemicals, you know. They put all these chemicals on this thing, and you're breathing all this in, aren't you? So I had a lovely sleep. So yes, thank you. The bed came all right. And that's what I mean to say. I haven't been out of the caravan a lot this week because on Tuesday, of course, on Wednesday, I waited in for the people to insulate underneath the caravan. That was all done. And yesterday, I had to wait in for a bed. I must say, whether it's warmed up slightly at night or not, no, I don't think it has. It was about 3 degrees the other night. The caravan absolutely does feel warmer since they've done the insulation. I mean, it really does. I went into the living room last night. Okay, I'd had the fan heaters on a while after I'd left my sister's house. So I got in. I thought, oh, it's quite warm in here. So I just turned them all off and just turned the gas fire on one bar. And it was like 16 degrees in the living room. And I think it was about 5 degrees outside. So that's definitely made a difference, having that insulation. Well worth spending the money there. Very pleased about that. So that's the new bed, all installed and working appropriately. Thank you very much. Good morning to Kathy, who's in Salem in Oregon. Good morning, Kathy. Oregano. Is that a spice? Oregano. Yes, it is. I put that in my spaghetti arrabbiata sauce, didn't I? Oregano. Is oregano from Oregon? Is it? I don't know. Is oregano from Oregon? Morning to David Wilson Boyer, who's in Switzerland. Morning to you. Gustav, looks like you have an admirer in Shah. You should give him a bell. Let love bloom. There is no love for me in this world, Gustav. How many times do I have to tell you that, dear? All that old crap that your mum and nan tells you when you're going through your teenage years, and all your mates have got girlfriends and boyfriends, and you haven't got anyone, and your mum says, don't worry, there's someone for everyone. It will come along. No, it doesn't, dear. You should know that as well, Gustav. It doesn't come along for everyone. It's a lie. It's the only lie that my mum and my nan's ever told me, that there's someone for everyone. There isn't, and that's it. That's just how it is. And when you get used, when you realise that, you become a lot happier, to be honest. All that searching around in my 20s and 30s for someone, what a waste of time that was. Mike, I was only saying it sounds like one of the ITV starts up. No need to get upset. Bit touchy this morning. No, you're saying that because you want me to be touchy. Go with it, Mike. Go with it. Follyfoot Farm. That was the theme music, yes. Roll, roll the lightning tree. Da, 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 da. I want to see if that's at my karaoke. I want to see if the lightning tree is at the karaoke, yeah. Adrian Richardson, good morning. Mike Pullman, Australia, morning. Hello to Joshua. Raphael, I love that name, Raphael. Actually, there's a bloke I fancy on the telly. Raphael is his name. He plays the gay character in the new version of Dynasty, Sammy Joe. He's lovely. Raphael is his actor name. Sammy Joe is the person he plays in Dynasty at the moment. Claire remembers the lightning tree from Follyfoot. Yes, indeed. Morning to you, Joanna. Good morning, Joanna. I'll have to do some singing for you later, Joanna. There's only been a little bit so far. Katie Ann, what do you mean the bulbs go blind? Okay, so the leaves come up, but there's no flower. That's what's meant by the bulbs go blind. No, so when they're in flower, they can see. Okay, when no flower comes up and you just get the leaves, that means the bulb's gone blind. That happens probably because I don't do certain things like dig them up and replant them. Adrian, we should be careful waving at lorry drivers. You might get a reputation for trying to pick them up. Oh, I've tried everything. Walking around with small shorts, everything. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. That Rohypnol doesn't work either. No, it doesn't. Rohypnol doesn't work. Date rape drug. What a load of rubbish that is. I had 2 boxes of that, sat at a bar, passed out, woke up 4 days later, no one had touched me. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. Tommy, good morning. Best comedy moment of the year yesterday. They were deep in debate in the House of Commons live on TV, and the water came pouring through the ceiling. They had to postpone for days. Why don't they just dish out umbrellas? That's what I would have done. Given them all an umbrella. Get on with it, dear. Get on with it. Honestly, a little bit of water coming through the roof and they've all gone home. Just wanted a day off. It's like these teacher training days. What's all that about? We never had teacher training days when we're at school. We're not at school today, Mum. We've got a teacher training day. Sorry? God, so anything to get a day off in it, Tommy. It's outrageous. Can we see your new bed? No, it's in the other room, and I've got a thing on a movable camera. I could do an Instagram video if you want me to a little bit later on, after the show, and upload that. Instagram is Chris Reardon UK, alright? Instagram is Chris Reardon UK, all one word. Good morning to Passeribo. Good morning to you, sir. Let's have a look. Let's just scroll down a bit. Chris now needs someone to christen the new bed. It won't happen, Michael. That bed will be unchristened, you know, I was going to say until the day I die. Hopefully it'll last a bit longer than a couple of days. Good morning to Bawa. Morning. He wants me to call him as well. What's all this call me going on there? Hello to Joseph McDonald. Good morning, Joe. Morning, Joe. He used to come along to the Penny Farthing in Hammersmith about 25 years ago. Would you wish my husband, Terry, a happy birthday? Happy birthday, Terry, this morning. Ah, birthday time. Happy birthday to Terry this morning. If it is your birthday and you're on the Facebook list, do not worry. You don't have to tell me about that. It will all come up in front of me a little bit right towards the end of the show, and I do all the birthdays then usually. But happy birthday to Terry. Thank you, Gustav. Let's have a look. And good evening from Lance, who's in Australia. Good morning, Lance. So, yes, so that was the bed. Let's have a look here. All the children are away at the moment. My nephew and his little family, they're at the hospice because one of their children is a little bit disabled. So they go to a hospice now and again. So they're down there at the moment. My niece, of course, is now living in Cyprus. So I've come up here, and apart from my sister and her husband, there's no one for me to visit while I'm here. You know, I've just been left here on my own. So last night I went over to my sister's, and I've got some chips, sausage and chips for my nephew on the way there, and I bought myself. I thought I'd have chips and baked beans 2 nights in a row, so I had that for dinner from the local chip shop in Tattershall, which I highly recommend. Very, very nice food in there indeed. Very nicely cooked chips. So I had those. Went to my sister's, and we were watching old children's programs on YouTube, which is just takes you back. You know, my brother-in-law likes doing this as well, and perhaps old theme musics. Like last night we played Z-Cars, that one, and we played Dixon of Dock Green, that one. You remember that? And then we played some children's ones. The Lightning Tree, which was from, was it Folly Farm or something like that? Roll, roll the lightning tree. Da 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 da. Down and that one, yes. White Horses. La 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 la. And then it got the French horn in it. Ba 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 ba. Oh, beautiful, beautiful programs. Rupert the Bear. Ba, 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 ba. There's a little bear, he's a lot of fun. That one. Oh, wonderful. And all this stuff is on YouTube, but maybe not soon. The Europeans, oh, God help us. The Europeans are coming out with some copyright law, which will mean that we could quite possibly lose a lot of this wonderful stuff on YouTube that takes us back to our childhood. I mean, it will be an enormous shame if this happens. All this old stuff, old TV themes, and then for those of you who are a little bit geeky, like me, jingles, TV openings, continuity announcer, all this stuff could disappear off YouTube if the Europeans get their way. Some sort of copyright law, I'm not quite sure what it is. But I've had a couple of emails from YouTube saying, you know, stop this happening, email so-and-so, and you send it. Join on a signature on something or other, but it would be incredibly sad if we lose all this, because it takes you back, doesn't it? It takes you back. And then we watched a whole episode of Camberwick Green. Oh yeah, with a little, is it a bear thing or a dog, and it turns this handle thing, and the cat, and it moves the captions up. You know the thing. And the episode we watched was at Windy Miller. He was a bloke who run the windmill. and he was always pissed because he liked cider. Of course, as a child, that wouldn't come into your mind, the fact that he was drunk. And the narrator, who was Brian Cant, now you remember him, he did Play School and Play Away and all this stuff. He was the narrator. And so, oh, Windy Miller does like his strong cider. And old Windy Miller, he's got this smock thing on. He's got this big thing of cider, like a jug, and he's drinking out of it. And eventually, of course, he just falls asleep in front of his windmill. And the windmills, the things go like that, and it's got this noise. And there's a little door, right? There's a little door in his windmill, and the windmills themselves are huge. They just miss the floor as they come round. Of course, it was all very clever how this was done. There was no computer animation or anything like that. These things actually existed. They were small models, and they took ages to film these things. What they'd have to do is, for example, with the windmill, they'd move it slightly and take a picture. Then they'd move it again and take a picture, and again and take a picture. The figures, as they would move, they'd have them in a position like that, and take a picture, and then they'd move them a bit, and take a picture, and move them a bit, and take a picture, and then they'd run all the pictures together, and that's how you got the moving images. Very clever. But these things actually existed. Someone made little models. And as this thing came around, it almost hit the floor, but didn't quite. But Windy Miller used to go in and out of his windmill, and he'd have to avoid the wind. And he didn't seem to be moving particularly quickly. He'd just walk in at the exact moment that the thing had just passed. And then as he got in there, another one passed. And he would come out again, just as it passed. He'd know when to come out, so he'd miss the windmill. We love it. And then there was the music where they got little trucks. Now, how did the music go for that? When they were in trucks, and they had the soldiers. One of the captains who had a big moustache, little group of soldiers, all models. Oh, wonderful! We really enjoyed watching Camberwick Green last night. How sad is that? And then after that, I think we went out and got we got to go and feed my nephew's cats, who are away at the moment. Not the cats. My nephew's away at the moment down at the hospice. And when we get to the house, the cats were already there waiting for their dinner. Fed them, and sadly on the way back we did stop at the Co-op and bought an angel cake. Oh, I do like a bit of angel cake, don't you? And my sister bought these chocolate things. We shouldn't buy these. Of course, we had the cake when we got back to her house, and then I felt very bad afterwards. Very, very bad to have cake, but angel cake is nice. How do you eat yours? Do you cut yours and then have it like that, or do you take off the one colour and first have like the yellow bit, and then the pink bit, and then the white bit with the cream in the middle? Oh, I do like a bit of I had half the cake. That's terrible, isn't it? It starts off, I just have the one slice, but unfortunately I did have half the cake. So that was our night yesterday, and much enjoyed. And I would like to see if the lightning tree is on my karaoke system. It may well be, so I'll have a little check at that and perhaps perform that later for you in full stereo. I will. Morning to Russ Philip Vernon. Good morning. Oh, I haven't done the text messages. Let's have a look. Maureen's there. Good morning, Maureen, who's texting in on the show today. Good morning, Maureen. Who also says, she's found, I've got another YouTube channel, which is, I know it's of limited interest, but some people like it, religious music and hymns, because I play the organ. So I've started doing little bits. Some of them I do at home, and some of them I do at the church, and I record it and simply upload it to YouTube. There's no talking or anything like that. It's just me playing hymns. And the title of the YouTube channel is Religious Music and Hymns, but you can't just type in like YouTube religious music, and you have to do a search for it. Well, Maureen's had great trouble finding it, but she has found it at last. I'm very pleased about this. She says, "Hi Chris, I found your hymn site. I typed in religious music and hymns. I had to scroll along a few people's videos, and then I saw your subscribe picture. 6 videos. That's right, there's only 6 so far. So I clicked on that, and she enjoyed that. So I'm glad you found that, Maureen. I'm really, really pleased you found that, because I know you wanted to see that. 6 hymns at the moment, and I try and upload one as and when, really. So if you want to look for that, just go on to YouTube, type into the YouTube search thing religious music and hymns, scroll down there and you'll see my face appear at some point, and just hit the subscribe button on there if that's your sort of thing. All right. Hello to George Ramsey. Good morning, George, who's in glorious sunny Benidorm. I will absolutely come to that place at some point, George. I'm sure I will. He's originally from Hexham in Northumberland, not Yorkshire. Oh, I beg your pardon. I always thought you were from Yorkshire for some reason, George. Sorry, mate. Lovely. Top man he is, George Ramsey. Does like a little bit of karaoke. He's come down along to the Belushes in London Bridge, where we had a bit of a laugh down there. Katie says things change fast these days. They certainly do. Far too quickly. But time, I've said this so many times on the show, time moves incredibly quickly. Here we are now, a quarter of the way into the year. No, a third of the year has now passed. You know, I've got to start saving up for Christmas presents again. It's just incredible how quickly time moves as you get older. It really does. And you talk to people even older than me who are in their 70s and 80s. And they will tell you that time moves even faster as you get older. It's going fast enough as it is. I can't believe, in just a few hours' time, I've got to get back in my car and go down to London and do the karaoke tonight, because I've been here for 3 days, almost 4. And I'm so glad to have come back up here. It's beautiful out the front this morning. There's lots of pigeons and birds in the field in front of me, trying to look for worms and things like that. I don't know why they bother looking for those old worms, dear. I mean, if they asked me nicely, I'd go out and get them a loaf of bread and feed them with that. Hello to Kike. Is it Kike? Kike. Hello, Kike. Not that it matters, but what is your take on Mexico? Don't really know much about Mexico, really. I should have gone there once on a cruise. In fact, I did get on the boat, and we were supposed to get off at Mexico and then have a week in somewhere in Mexico, but it didn't quite work out, and I came home early. So I don't really know much about Mexico to be able to talk about it. All right, Kike? I'm sure it's a wonderful place. Mike says, when we leave the EU, their copyright law won't apply to us then, hopefully. Oh, I never thought about that, Mike. I hope so. I hope so. George says, you haven't mentioned the magic roundabout. Oh, well, that rabbit was always off its head, weren't it? The rabbit in the magic roundabout used to smoke spliffs. Yeah, man. This was a children's programme. But don't you think our children's programmes when we were children, because I know most of you are sort of around my age, within sort of 15, 20 years either side of my age. I'm 56. And when you see things like Trump Turn and Magic Roundabout, what was the other one? White Horses, replaced for stuff like Teletubbies and Bananas in Pyjamas, and it's just crap television. We all had little stories and that, not just these things. I don't get it. I'm sure life has become less good, I think. I'm sure it has. Life has become less good than it was. Lance, there appears to be a potential government crackdown on social media globally in one form or another. There are murmurs here and in South Africa. Interesting that Europe is also on board. Yeah, I mean, old Pizza Face, what's his name? Mark Zuckerberg. Pizza. He's got a weird looking face. I don't trust him, Mark Zuckerberg. Do you? Are you a fan of him? Mark Zuckerberg or Zuckerberg, what's his name? I don't trust him at all. I think a lot of these media giants have got too much power there. They could say one thing and everyone believes them. You've only got to look on Facebook, make a comment, some sort of comment that would make people think, perhaps, and everyone believes you. I mean, the amount of times people post up old news stories, perhaps, for example, of someone who's died. Like one that came up, what was the person? Catweasel. Remember Catweasel? Right? Last week, one person posted that Catweasel had died. And this was followed by others who just simply cut and reposted. I clicked on the link. That was like 2 or 3 years ago. People, they're like sheep on Facebook. Watch out for stuff on there. Don't believe everything you read, because people simply cut and paste stuff and it's not true. And as for that mass shooting in New Zealand, how did they get away with that? Well, I've got a couple of thoughts on that. Absolutely outrageous how it was allowed to play out on Facebook and wherever it was. All live. People watch these poor people in the mosque all get shot dead. Right? Now, people would say, how could Facebook allow that? Well, from their point of view, of course, how can you possibly monitor every single thing that's going on Facebook? I don't think that's possible. You know, is there someone in Facebook at this moment watching this video to see if I say anything bad, I wonder? Doubtful, isn't it? I can't believe that there is. If there is, please put a message down there and let us know you're there so that we know that you're checking up. It's all very well saying, oh, Facebook or Twitter or someone else, you know, they shouldn't allow this stuff on social media. But how on earth do you police thousands and millions of messages and videos and images coming through all the time? It's just not possible to do it, is it? You'd need like a one-to-one of user and staff to be able to do that. Someone watching all the time. I very much doubt that there's anyone at Facebook watching this video at the moment. You know, I doubt it very much. Claire, how dare you say Windy Miller was always drunk? My childhood images are ruined. Well, shall I help you a little bit more with that, Claire? Rolf Harris, Stuart Hall and Jimmy Savile. There, that's ruined your childhood, isn't it? Same here. I do feel that it upset. And Michael Jackson, of course. It depends what you want to believe, you see. It may well be that these people did these terrible things. But the fact is, I was a child at the time and I don't want to believe it. I don't want to believe that these people did these things. I mean, how many more people are they going to dig up from the past and say, oh, yeah, it's one of your heroes, wasn't it? Yeah, he did this or she did that. Terrible, really. Terrible. Tommy, I love your new religious channel. Saves me going to Mass. I'll do a Gloria soon, Tommy. I'll do a Gloria. We don't have the Gloria at the moment in the Catholic Church. Not until Easter comes again. Good morning to Paul and Lou. Christ, they get later and later, those two, don't they? God knows what they're doing. Good morning, Paul and Lou. Paul kept losing. Oh, yes, you did lose the show yesterday, I know. I've worked out what that was. Now, I ordered something yesterday. I have at last ordered my brand new 3 telephone company 3 4G broadband, which is £22 a month. At the moment, here in my caravan, this is how I'm going to save some money here, right? At the moment, in the caravan, I pay £10 a month, okay, for a little broadband thing, but that's only really used to switch on my electrical sockets. I've got some Wi-Fi plugs in here, so if I'm on the way back to the caravan from somewhere, or indeed when I'm coming up here, I can turn my heating on. So on a really cold night, you know, you're getting that, and it's already warm because the fan heaters have been on for, I don't know, 45 minutes or whatever. So that cost me £10 a month, that thing. My home broadband, Virgin Media, which is a fantastic service, lightningly quick, never really had a problem with them, but that's £53 a month, that one. So altogether I'm paying £63 a month in broadband services between the two sites, right? 3 4G broadband is £22 a month, unlimited data. So for that, you get a little box and you connect to the box wirelessly, as indeed I'm doing something similar now, okay, and it works off the 4G. There's no wires. There's no wires back from here to a telephone exchange. It's all worked over the 4G. You are watching the show via 4G through me tethering to my mobile phone. Now the problem with that is if the phone rings, which it won't do because I've switched it on divert, okay, we get cut off. I've also discovered, as in yesterday, oh no, if I tell you that, someone's going to do it, aren't they? No, I can't tell you what. Who would have my number there? All right, I will ask you, if you've got my number, please don't text it now, because you will cut the show off. You'll only be able to do it today, because after today, it'll be fine. So if a text comes in, you lose the connection. I've worked that out from yesterday. So I've been toying with this idea of getting 4G broadband for home, because there's a massive difference between £22 a month and 53, and I think it will work. And I thought, well, I'll get one. If it works here, I'll get one for the home as well. So I've ordered one. It's a 24-month contract, so it's quite a long contract on that one. But it's £22 a month, and you get the little router box and all that. And you see, I will be able to try that now at home before I cancel my Virgin Media, because I was going to have a wired connection there. I thought, well, I'll try that at home, and if it works there, then I'll bring it up here, okay? And I'll have one up here, and I might order a second one at home. But you see, at the moment, as I say, I'm paying 60, and the Wi-Fi plugs can connect to that, so I won't have the £10 a month charge. So I could go from £63 a month, as I am now, to £44 a month with one of these boxes at either end. So I think I might well do that. So that's what I ordered on the thing, and that's why you lost the show yesterday, Claire, because someone had texted in, and if someone texts in, it just throws the signal out. I don't know why. That's just how it is. Okay, so once I've got that box, that should cure that problem, and that's it. And I'll let you know how we do with the 4G broadband. I know it works here perfectly well, except for the fact is when someone texts in, but I want to know that it works at home as well. And I'll have a few weeks to try it out at home. The other thing is, of course, it's fantastically portable. If you wanted to, you could just pick it up and go where. If you moved or something, you just unplug it, plug it back in, bang, it works. Going over 4G, fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Morning to No Way on Virgin. On not Virgin. Vaughan Live. A very good morning to you. Who says I make sense? Well, perhaps to you, not to myself. I've never really made any sense to myself at all, I'm afraid. Oh dear. Ray Reynolds, the Mexican jokes are almost the same as our Irish jokes, are they? I don't know any Mexican jokes. I have no idea of any Mexican jokes. George says Brian was always off his head. The rabbit, I know. The Wombles. Katie the Wombles. Underground, overground, wombling free. The Wombles of Wimbledon. Carmen. I know that one's on the karaoke, the Wombles. I'll have a look tonight and see if I can do one. We've got karaoke tonight if you're in North London. Join us for karaoke at Central Station in Wharfdale Road, King's Cross. That starts at 8:30. Friday karaoke tonight, okay? See you soon, George. Nice to see you. Adam the Plumber, I agree with you, Chris. You can't beat the old children's television programmes. They were brilliant. One of my favourites is Rainbow. Yes, up above the streets and houses, rainbow flying high. Did you know that Jeffrey recently passed away? Yes, I do. And you're being a cab driver in Funny. Jeffrey, yes, he was. Jeffrey became a cab driver in Brighton. Can you imagine that? Getting into a cab in Brighton and Jeffrey, the man from Rainbow, was driving it. That would be fantastic. I bet he had some good conversations in there. I bumped into one of the boys who was in Grange Hill. He's got a key shop in East London. He makes keys. But he was in Grange Hill, one of the schoolboys in Grange Hill. The one, what's his name now? I can't remember now. He had big teeth. Not buck tooth, just big teeth in the front. Yeah. And I bumped into him it was in Euro Disney actually about 10 years ago or so. And I'm walking around and I just saw him and I recognised him straight away and I said to him, you get everywhere you do, don't you? And he winked at me and he laughed. How great is that to bump into people like that? But getting into a cab driven by Jeffrey from Rainbow, wow. Have you seen The Rude Rainbow on YouTube? Yes, The Rude Rainbow. Very rude indeed. It was never aired. They made it one afternoon, also waiting for something to happen. It's very funny. Oh dear. Adrian, how do you get away with karaoke from people killing, murdering the songs, but they do look like they could be having fun? Well, I don't care. Anyone who can't sing doesn't matter at karaoke, you see. It's all about having fun. What I do object to, and many of us do, is depressing ballads. I hate depressing ballads. And it is sometimes the way they're sung. They're not all depressing, but there are certain songs that are really depressing, and I hate it when people do it at karaoke. Claire says, thank goodness for John Noakes. Oh, he was my hero. John Noakes was my hero. What a sad, sad ending he had to his life, didn't he? He lost the plot. He had the dementia, and he was found wandering. I think he'd moved to Spain or something, and he was found wandering around, not knowing where he was or anything. John Noakes was totally my hero. He really was my childhood hero, John Noakes, and he didn't get done for anything, did he? Thank God for that. Peter Duncan, no, I'd left when Peter Duncan came along. I think I left Blue Peter. I was there for John Noakes, Peter Purves, Valerie Singleton, Leslie Judd, Simon Groom, a great presenter, you know. But when he came, it moved on. That was it for me then. Okay, not keen on it. There's nothing wrong with the way he was, but of course I like John Noakes, and I think Simon Groom replaced John Noakes. I can't remember when John Noakes left the programme. But there was a story going around that John Noakes actually didn't enjoy doing Blue Peter. I don't know how true that is. The editor of Blue Peter at the time was Biddy Baxter, and apparently she ran it like, you know, she was really strict with the presenters, really strict. So, don't know. Let's have a look there. Oh, that's jumping around. Those messages are jumping around this morning. Let's have a look. We're going to have to move forward a little bit there, my darlings. We have that box at the cottage in the UK. It's fantastic. There you go. He's got the 3 box in the cottage. That'd be great. So I could have 2 lots of broadband, both here and at home, for 20 quid less a year. That's 240 quid. That's a lot of money. A lot of money to save. You're talking to each other. Hello to Malik. Welcome, Malik, who's in Iraq. A very good morning. Welcome to the show, Malik. Right, Adrian has just signed his mum up on BT broadband. £5 a month bargain. Oh, it's faster, yeah. There you go. Some of you talking to each other there. Claire's still recovering. Oh, sorry. So you won't be along. She got a bad throat. Caught at a local karaoke. Yeah, but you don't know that, Claire. It could have come from anywhere, dear. Probably a dirty microphone. That's why I've got my wipes. You can always ask for a wipe if you want to wipe that microphone. Interestingly, Lady Phoenix, who I'm sure you've seen singing before, she now brings a microphone sponge. Anyone's welcome to bring one of those. I'll see if I've got one. You can have it if you want, Claire. And then whenever you go to a karaoke, you get up, take the microphone, put the sponge on top, and sing to your heart's content, knowing that it's only your disgusting, filthy germs that are going on that sponge. Hello to JP. Did you see Noakes climb up Nelson's column? Yes, I was there for that, John. I was there watching. Do you know they had to do that twice? He had to do that twice because the first time they went up there, did it all, come back down, and something had gone wrong with the sound. Something had gone wrong with the sound, and he had to go up again and do it all over again. That's true, that is. There's no way I'd go up now. I don't like heights. My brother-in-law's the same. We don't like heights. It's funny how you can get on a plane. When I'm on the plane, if I'm on a plane going somewhere, I kind of switch off. I switch off to the fact that there's nothing underneath me for a mile or more. Nothing. Just a thin piece of metal and an old seat. Yeah, I remember that. Can I put in 3 request songs in for tonight if I come along? The House of the Rising Sun. Well, yeah, I can't write them down now, Adam. If you just send them over on a private message, round about 7 o'clock, or well, any time after about 6 or 7 o'clock, send them over then, and they'll already be in the system. Okay. What time do you intend to get there? You must tell me what time you intend to get there. Okay. Yeah, there we are. Good. Who were the couple who used to bonk off stage? Did they? What, on what programme was that then? Hang on, have I missed something out there? I don't know what programme that would have been. No idea, yes. Okay, let's have a look there. Right, so that's that there. Where are we now? That's all that done, isn't it? Right, I've got some lovely little news stories for you this morning. Now, I don't understand it. Now, I understand the whole plastic bag issue. Although, I have to say, plastic bags and plastic straws are a very tiny part of the problem that we've got in this world with plastic. You've seen the Blue Planet and all those programs where there's literally thousands and thousands of tons of plastic floating around or blowing around like that. It's a real problem. A real problem. But when I see that the government has decided to ban plastic straws, and we're all, oh, fantastic, the government about, and then you walk into Asda or Aldi or Sainsbury's or Waitrose and you see the amount of stuff that is covered or encased or produced in plastic, you're thinking, why have they even bothered buying with the plastic straws? It's just, man, I don't know how we're going to get out of this plastic business. Well, Morrison's have taken a step further, but I don't understand why they're charging 20 pence. Paper carrier bags are being introduced in Morrison's supermarket in this morning's Daily Mail as part of the drive to cut down on throwaway plastic. Okay, so I thought, excellent. And then the reusable bags, 20 pence each, will be available in all stores by next month following a successful trial. Now, I'm pretty sure that shops don't have to charge for paper bags. When I've gone to, actually Harrods do it, Selfridges do it, I know that for a fact because I've been there. When you buy something from them, they give it to you in a plastic bag. In a paper bag with a green Harrods bag or a yellow Selfridges bag. It's paper and you're not charged. So presumably shops don't have to charge for paper bags. So why are they charging 20 pence here? We used to get the plastic ones for nothing. The reusable bags, says a story, 20 pence each, will be available in all stores by next month following a successful trial. The supermarket hopes the move will save an estimated 1,300 tonnes of plastic a year based on consumer usage during an 8-week trial across 8 stores. Welsh stores will be the first to offer paper bags next week, followed by English and Scottish stores in May. Some have questioned whether paper bags are any better for the environment, though, than plastic bags due to the harmful carbon emissions they release when they rot, and because a lot of water is used during the manufacturing process. But that, you see, the word is there, when they rot. That's a good thing, isn't it? For them to rot down. Well, we've got to carry our stuff in something, for Christ's sake, haven't we? And better paper than plastic, isn't it? Morrison said the paper bags are both reusable and recyclable and have a carbon footprint equivalent to the standard plastic versions, which also now cost 20 pence. The paper is made from a sustainably managed forests, and the bags are strong enough to carry groceries weighing up to 35 pounds, which is 16 kilos. The move by Morrison's is part of a wider effort from supermarkets to dramatically cut back on the use of throwaway plastic packaging, which has been championed by the Daily Mail's Turn the Tide on Plastic campaign. So there we are. You're going to get paper bags in Morrison's, but 20 pence. You know, surely they could have given away paper bags like that, couldn't they? I do remember when I was a boy, before plastic, we had paper carrier bags, and it was always quite amusing to see someone walking along in the rain, and suddenly the bottom of the bag would go, and they'd be shopping all over the pavement or halfway across the road where they've tried to run across the zebra crossing. Oh, I'm terrible, aren't I? Mustn't laugh at other people's misfortunes. I mean, look at my face. Laugh at that if you want to. That's what I'm here. That's what I'm here for, you to laugh at me. Laugh at the face. Look at the face. Wouldn't you, if you had a face like this, you'd be laughing, wouldn't you? I used to love that as a little boy. Look, Mum, her bag's gone. Or the handles would just completely disintegrate, wouldn't they? I love it. I love it. A very good morning to Moving Nerd on Vaughan Live, who says, I bought 900 plastic bags on Amazon. After my city banned plastic bags, I keep them in the trunk of my car. Very good idea, sir. You can buy a roll of them, can't you? I think I managed to get hold of a roll of carrier bags from somewhere that I worked. I think there was a roll of carrier bags, so I half-inched those, and they lasted about 3 years. Roll of carrier bags, didn't they? Let's have a look there. Where are we now? I'm missing something out there. JP, it's been found that making paper bags consume more energy and cause pollution too. Yeah, of course we've got the ink as well, haven't we, on the paper bags? You know, because they put all their logos on that, so presumably the ink is not very good. A good karaoke host should wipe the mic before use. Claire, I'd love to do that, but people are offended by that. You know, when someone like yourself, for example, you know, you've just finished your song, you put your mic back, then I come over and wipe it down with anaesthetic. So not anaesthetic, antiseptic. You know, people would be offended. They'd start moaning. Oh, you can just see it now. Are you saying I got germs? Yes. Oh, it's funny, isn't it? We'll do one more story and then we'll do the birthdays, okay? Now, are you into cats? Who likes cats? Good news. In the Sun this morning, pet cats know their own names and recognise them when we call them, new research has showed. Now, you must have, I mean, I've done it before. Cats don't always take any notice, do they? You know, come on, Tiddles, Tiddles, Tiddles. They just carry on. Don't they? Tiddles, Tiddles. And they completely, well, they're ignoring you. They know their names. Cats do their own thing, don't they? Scientists have found out that our feline friends, in the Sun this morning, are able to tell their names apart from other words. The study shows that cats' grasp of our words is closer to a dog's than we think. There are so many studies about dogs' ability to communicate with humans, we think it's important to show cats' ability, said study author Dr. Atsuko Sato from Sophia University in Japan. She added the findings were not surprising. Many cat owners know that cats understand their own names. To test cats' speech reading abilities, scientists sat 16 owners down with their cats. They asked them to say 4 nouns of similar lengths, followed by the pet's name. Cats gradually lost interest with each random word, but perked up again when they heard their own name, meowing or shifting their head or tail. Meow, meow. It's funny, my mate, he's got 4 cats, and there's one of them that's really big. He's been told it's got to go on a diet. It's a fat cat, Ralph the cat, and he's so lovely. I remember when he first got him, he was a little ball of fur you carried in one hand. Not anymore. You wouldn't want to have a row with that cat. It could do some serious damage, but he's quite... I mean, he doesn't look fat to me, but he's very big. Very, very big. But when he meows, meow, he's got a really pathetic meow. Expect with a great big thing like that, you know. Meow, meow. No. Meow, meow, meow. Like that. Pathetic. The story goes on. Even when someone who was not their owner called a cat's name, the cat responded more than to nouns. Scientists said kitties learn their name because it's one of the most common words spoken to them. I mean, you're always calling a cat's name, aren't you? I've had 3 cats. Tiny the cat, she's been gone a while now. There was JD, who met, unfortunately, a very untimely death. She had her head bitten off. Sorry to have to say that on the show in the morning, but she did. She lost her head by one of those dogs, unfortunately. And then there was Katie, who was my mother's cat, who I lost her. That's coming up 2 years ago. Katie the cat. It was a lovely thing, she was. So I had 3 cats. Cats likely associate it with rewards, such as food, petting or playtime, or even negative things like a bath or a trip to the vet. They don't like baths, do they? Some cats like to be hoovered. Again, my mate's big cat, Ralph the cat, he likes to be hoovered. Can you actually suck? You know, for cats, I mean, most cats have got fleas somewhere. Even if you do that flea stuff, I'm sure there's 1 or 2 hiding on there. Would a hoover suck fleas off of a cat? There's a good question. Oh, look, shall I type that in? Let's start type that in. Would a hoover get rid of fleas in a cat? Let's see what comes up there. No, it's just talking about carpets and things. Vacuuming kills fleas. A study shows vacuuming is indeed an effective weapon. Oh, that's fleas in the head. Ah, here we go. Can you vacuum fleas off a cat? This is Reddit. I think that's some sort of website there. Let's have a look there. What answers have we got there? Now you see someone saying, I think it would agitate and scare your cat more than help. No, but some cats absolutely love it. I think one of my nephew's cat likes to be hoovered as well. People have tried it out. No, there's nothing there that says anything about it, but it's clearly someone saying there. I've seen a few of those pet vacuum attachments meant for vacuuming dogs and cats that shed a lot around, but I can't find any reviews. No, don't know. So do they kill them or not? I don't know if they do or not. Don't know if they do or not. But if your cat likes to be vacuumed, then vacuum it. I might try it myself on myself a little bit later on. Might give myself a bit of pleasure with a vacuum cleaner. Don't even think that. Don't even think that. Hello to Muckety Muck. Scientists do know that cats can taste things we cannot, such as what's that? Adenosine triphosphate, ATP, the compound that supplies the energy in every living cell. Yeah, I mean that's interesting, isn't it? I'm sure they can. I'm sure they can. JP says my cat doesn't eat meat. Oh, it must do, does it? Cats, you must never try and make a cat or a dog vegetarian. You can do it serious damage trying something like that. Yeah. Adrieson, my pussy always comes when I get called. How lovely. Oh, how lovely. How lovely. I'm so pleased about that. JP, I once suckled up to Mum's budgie with a Henry when I was a lad. I once sucked up my mum's budgie with a Henry when I was a lad. Oh, that poor thing. Moving nerd. When I'm finished with my plastic bags, I take them to the bottle depot, and they have a big bag where you put them in. Yeah, we've got that. We've got like a section. I think in the supermarkets actually they've got like a bin for used carrier bags, so there's no environmental issue with them. They've got to get those bags and that out of the sea though, haven't they? They've got to find a way of clearing up all this rubbish, and it seems to gather in mass in one or two areas of the planet, don't they? Like, I don't know, perhaps where the water goes round and round like that, it all gathers like that. I did have one more story for you. I'm just going to fit this in before we go. Cream egg mayonnaise. How's that sound? Cadbury's cream egg mayonnaise. No. Well, a lot of people thought it was an April Fool's joke. Look at this. As far as unlikely combinations go, we dare you to find something stranger, this is in the Daily Mail this morning, than a Cadbury cream egg mayonnaise. I kid you not. When Cadbury announced it had teamed up with Heinz to launch a cream egg version of the creamy condiment in time for Easter, many thought it was an April Fool's joke, but the concoction really exists and is described as scrumptious Moorish spread that's perfect with crumpets. Do you like crumpets? I rarely have those. Well, my favourite breakfasts when I'm abroad are in America, in a place called Denny's. I mean, you can understand why some of the Americans are of the size they are. We have that here as well, you know, people very large as well, but they do seem to have more in America. They all go out for breakfast. It's just a normal thing, I suppose. They get up, get dressed, and off they go straight to Denny's. And you can have some wonderful, wonderful breakfasts in Denny's, one of which, my favourite, I think, is probably the stack of pancakes covered in maple syrup and butter. You probably got a week's worth of calories in one breakfast there. But they are delicious. The service is good. The atmosphere is good. Denny's places in America. We have two here in the UK. I believe one's in... I think my nephew looked it up. One's in Cardiff and one's... Oh no, that might be something else he was talking about. I think we've got 2 Denny's here in the UK, and they're packed, absolutely packed out. You have to queue to get into a Denny's in America. There's loads of them around. There was one. There's only one in Vegas that we discovered. We couldn't get in it. It was always queuing to get in there. Fantastic food, reasonably priced as well. Very good. Back to this story then. This concoction exists. 6 female reporters from the Daily Mail have tried out the bizarre combination. So Claire, it's not the Claire who's with us this morning. Claire, who tried it out, says, I don't really like cream eggs that much as I find them too sweet, but this mayo actually works quite well. I don't think I'd be able to eat too much of it, but once in a while on a crumpet, why not? Never with fries though. Steph only gave it 3 out of 10. I was expecting the worst, but it was a little better than that, particularly when eaten with chips. With chips! However, ultimately, I don't think I'll be picking up a jar. Harriet, again 3 out of 10. The first bite was pretty tasty, much nicer than I expected it to be, but after a second bite I felt like any more of the mixture would be absolutely sickening. It was pretty good with a salty chip. No, I think they're doing this wrong. I think you're doing it wrong. It's not for chips and like real it doesn't replace real mayonnaise. It's a sweet version of mayonnaise that you'd put on bread and stuff like that, or maybe just out of the jar. Have you ever done that with honey? Oh, you get that jar of honey, you put your spoon in it. Oh my God. Brush your teeth afterwards. Chloe, 7 out of 10. The texture was similar to peanut butter, and I was pleasantly surprised by the flavour. I was expecting it to taste more like mayonnaise, but instead it was just very rich, which has definitely satisfied my sweet tooth. I'd recommend eating it with chips rather than crumpets, but overall it went down pretty well. So there we are. So that's something to look out for. If I find it, I'll buy a jar and we'll try some of that out, okay, on the show. So Heinz Seriously Good Cream Egg Mayo. Sounds absolutely delicious to me. It really does. Would you try something like that out? Katie Ann is sending me some little pictures of her being sick. No way, mayo less is better. JP, oh no, it's something else they're talking about there. Cat doesn't eat meat, Chris, because I didn't give it any. Poor little cat, honestly. All right, let's do today's birthdays, gang. Happy birthday on this Friday, the 5th of April 2019 to Daryl Cole. Good morning, Daryl. Morning, young Daryl. Happy birthday to you. Sean Riches is today a young 24 years old. Good morning, Sean. Happy birthday. Mark Hobbs. Good morning, Mark. Happy birthday. Flynn Alsop Burge. I think I got your name right, Flynn. Good morning. Happy birthday to you, sir. Long time no see. Ian Scott. Morning, Ian. Happy birthday. Scott Wilson today, 46 years old. Katie Bell. Katie Bell is 35 years old today. Stephen. He's in Australia, Stephen. I haven't heard from you for a while. Stephen C. Rusunis is 62 years old today, and Dee Seaton is 53. So, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. All right, happy birthday, everyone. Joanna, it's even worse without the music, isn't it? The singing is even worse without my music. Alrighty, that's it for the show today, gang. Now, don't forget, I don't think I have my Friday karaoke thing up here, do I? Let's have a look. No, it's not up there. So if you're in the North London area tonight, it's Friday karaoke tonight. Starts at 8:30 right the way through until 12 midnight. Come and sing us a song. Doesn't matter whether you can sing or not. Just please don't choose depressing ballads that no one likes. And you'll have a lovely time. You'll meet some wonderful people down there. We have such marvellous characters who come and do their thing, and it's just wonderful. Maureen's usually there now on a Friday as well. I don't know who's coming. Martin will probably be there. Roy might well be there. So if you're coming tonight, it's Central Station Karaoke. Central Station, Wharfdale Road, King's Cross. Starts at 8:30 and goes through until midnight. Thanks for joining us today, boys and girls. I'll see you again on the next show very soon. Good idea to subscribe to the show on YouTube. Okay, youtube.com/Chris Reardon UK is my YouTube channel. youtube.com/Chris Reardon UK. You can watch the show on there. Join in as you do on the Facebook. and hit the subscribe button, and whenever there's a show you'll get a little ping or something like that. And it's the same on Facebook. With the Facebook, you don't have to be a friend, but you'll need to click, I think, follow or something like that, and then every time there's a show you'll get some sort of notification on your mobile device. Subscribe to both, because sometimes one doesn't work. Sometimes they both don't work, to be honest, but sometimes one doesn't work, so it's always a good idea to have sort of a backup going there as well. Have a lovely Friday. I'm going to try and get down the swimming pool as well, I think, after I finish the show, because I haven't been swimming. I feel so bad that I haven't been swimming this week. I'll go to the one at Boston, that's a bit closer. You have a lovely day, and I'll see you again very soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.